Georgia may be the peach state, but blueberries are making a lot of noise. We'll tell you why just ahead. And the Bamboo Farm and Coastal Gardens being recreated as a regional botanical center. Wait till you see what's going on off US Highway 17. Plus, an exclusive interview with the tall hog at the trough. Hunter Beef's business is thriving, and we'll tell you why just ahead on What's Grown in Georgia. If you have any interest in plant life, as food, as decoration, as shade for your home, as anything, you gotta take a trip out to the Bamboo Farm and Coastal Gardens, because with their recent and ongoing renovations, they have everything, and they know everything about plant life.
What's this?
It's summer camp at the Bamboo Farm and Coastal Gardens.
And what do they grow into?
Plants.
Plants. They grow into plants.
Under the watchful eye of Miss Kelly Bear, these youngsters are building a foundation of understanding of the plant world,
There's a funny looking insect up here.
with a little animal world thrown in for good measure.
Don't touch it. He could be poisonous. Why are things poisonous, Gabriel?
Because if they bite you or do something, they'll protection.
What'd you say?
Protection.
Protection.
That's what I was
Insects. And remember, what kind of plants use protection? Cactus.
Oil.
Oils from what?
Poison ivy.
Poison ivy. Yeah.
Summer camp at the Bamboo Farm grew out of the year-round Roots and Shoots program for youngsters, which is drawing thousands to the location off US Highway 17.
Okay.
We're just tickled to death that we can have these children out here with the summer camp. And we're extremely pleased to have a qualified, certified teacher as giving leadership to it, as well as several of the Roots and Shoots teachers who are all master gardeners.
Just a couple of 100 feet away, Bob Izzo is sharing propagation tips with members of LIFE, an acronym for Living Independence for Everyone. Like the youngsters in Roots and Shoots, these folks are discovering the joy of gardening and learning some pretty neat tricks in the process.
We're going to wrap that stem in that container right on top of that joint, just like that. Once I go ahead and take that container off, that whole joint right here will have roots sprouting all over, up and down where I made that cut.
The two programs are small steps in the accomplishment of a master plan for the Bamboo Farm that began under Alan Beal's leadership in 2005.
It's a tremendous plan. It leads us out of just bamboo, which we've always been more than just bamboo, but into a full-fledged botanical garden.
We're trying to capitalize on the physical and the natural resources of this location, and also upon the resources that UGA and Chatham County can put into the operation.
The Bamboo Farm stretches back to the 19th century.
It began in 1890 with 3 clumps of timber bamboo, Japanese giant timber bamboo.
When the strength and versatility of the plant was touted as a replacement for steel, an idea borrowed from the Japanese. In the early 20th century, Judge Arthur Solomon developed camellias on the property, and today the camellia garden is considered world-class. But it's only one of a growing number of gardens being shaped by the rebirth of the Bamboo Farm and Coastal Gardens.
We would like for the folks in coastal Georgia, like I said, these 50-mile radius, which is 12, 15 contiguous counties, to be able to come to the Bamboo Farm and see a plant material that will grow easily, grow well in their location.
Homeowners and builders will find a great friend in Jamie Burkhart, who can look into the future with them as they plan their home sites.
So they're excellent examples to the homeowner or to anyone interested in plants to see what a lot of these trees look like after several decades of growth. Right now, a lot of the plants that they may see in the landscapes here in the coastal region is that maybe they've been planted only 5 or 10 years ago, and they really don't know the scale of what these trees can become.
Bananas are in fruit at the Bamboo Farm next to the berries that you can pick yourself when they're in season, and if you can beat the birds to them.
We will have blueberries next year. We had a few this year, but we have some friends out here called Canadian geese that have picked every blueberry just about that has come on since the blueberries started.
There's one message that Jim Fountain wanted us to make sure we get across to you. The Bamboo Farm and Coastal Gardens is open, and while all of its development is going on, it's still free. But he encourages everybody to become a friend of the Bamboo Farm and get involved in a green space that is emerging as a showplace for the entire area.
I see Bamboo Farm and Coastal Gardens becoming an excellent place just to enjoy nature, enjoy the beauty in plants, as well as being a place to commune, entertain, and just enjoy what Savannah has to offer horticulturally.
We've touched just a small fraction of what's to come at the Bamboo Farm and Coastal Gardens. A formal garden, a shade garden, an Irish garden, a band shell. Get on out there, because they got it going at the Bamboo Farm and Coastal Gardens. And when we come back, we'll show you how they got it going at farmers markets around Georgia too. And a little later, little piggies that went wee-wee on their way to some hog bread. Stay right there. It's Summerfest at Georgia farmers markets, and the produce is fresh and plentiful with great variety, and it's grown right here in Georgia's backyard.
With Georgia's agriculture industry being a $70 billion industry in the state, and 1 out of every 7 people being touched either directly or indirectly by it, we think that the timing is perfect for folks to focus on Georgia food, Georgia farmers, Georgia agriculture and agribusiness. There's certainly a pleasure in coming out here talking to the people who actually grew this food, who produced it, and getting their input and knowing that it's fresher, knowing that it's grown by a person you can know and shake his hand.
Across the state in Moultrie, Georgia, their farmers market has an innovative processing procedure that's making locally grown cantaloupes ready for the grocer's cool section. Jonna Caserta from our sister station, WALB, has the story.
Thousands of cantaloupes are washed, disinfected, and packed here at the Moultrie Farmers Market.
We do a freshwater bath. We change the water out every 6 or 7 trailers. We keep the chlorine at 5 parts per million. We use a buffer to keep the pH between 6 and 7 so the chlorine will work.
The melons then go through the brush machines and the cantaloupes are rinsed with selecticide.
It will kill 100% of any bacteria. We brush the cantaloupes, the skin, just a little bit to ruffle up the scale on the bacteria, just to make sure we kill it. Then we dry it, we sticker it, we size it, we pack it.
Most of these sanitation practices are motivated by buyers in the industry.
Most of the food safety is dictated by our customers. Publix, Kroger, Harris Teeter, I mean, they require all this.
But new produce safety regulations will soon make all of this mandatory.
A third party comes in, evaluates this operation to determine that they are indeed using proper food safety practices, proper disinfectant, proper moving through the system, employee facilities, things like that, to make sure they are producing a safe product.
But Garrison says no matter what lengths producers use to keep your food clean, you should still be practicing proper food safety at home.
The consumer still has to practice food safety within their home. When these melons come in, or whatever it is, we still have to wash our produce before we consume it.
Georgia is the 3rd largest cantaloupe producer in the nation. With technology like that, the numbers are bound to rise. When we come back, something on the rise in a big way. Blueberries are a super fruit. The University of Georgia Agricultural and Environmental Sciences Department very quietly has its hands in just about everything to do with agriculture in Georgia, including the explosive growth of blueberries over in Alma, Bacon County. Folks in Bacon County know how to make good use of what they have. Right next to the landing strip, they own about 25 acres of land. Back in the 40s, a couple of fellows started a breeding program for blueberries. It seems to have paid off for the state of Georgia, but especially for Alma.
60 to 65 million pound crop. And with the acres that we've got planted and what seems to be coming, expansion, probably in a few years we'll be #1 in North America. Not just the States, but North America.
The health benefits of blueberries are driving enormous growth in the fruit, already showcased for being high in cancer-fighting antioxidants. More recent research indicates even broader health benefits.
There's some more work going on at Tufts, I think. And the leading information or preliminary results indicate that there could be a place for blueberries to actually treat certain levels of diabetes. Hasn't been proven medically yet, but the preliminary research, the medical scientists are real excited about it. And so if they're real excited about it, then they believe there's some potential there. And you know, most of the time research has to be done over a period of 3 years to make sure that it's replicated and it's sound science. And you know, if that hits the medical journals and the Dr. Oz show, then blueberries will just become insanely popular then, I think.
The UGA Blueberry Research Facility tackles all of the problems and the opportunities associated with successfully growing this crop. Fertilizer, pesticides, water, and the opportunities that are presented by new varieties.
Dr. Neesmith's key is developing some varieties that'll fit different market windows. And the reason that's important is South Georgia has the longest marketing window of any blueberry producing region. We can have blueberries for a longer period of time than anybody.
As the research facility anticipates explosive growth for blueberries, it's also tackling the issue of getting the harvest out of the field.
You know, labor's an issue. If we ever can get to the point where we have varieties that are more conducive to mechanical harvest, then we'll prune them accordingly, and hopefully we can pick them and pack a decent grade.
The scientists and researchers from the University of Georgia have a key ally in their blueberry work, the farmers, who both teach and learn at the research facility.
It don't get no closer. We're almost married. So that's how close we are. And the farmers are extremely supportive. I mean, they helped build this farm. They brought their own equipment. They've got their own sweat in this place. And so anytime I need something, they'll support it.
Reed Torrance is hunting down the kudzu bug and other pests that plague our farmers over in onion country. What's bugging our farmers and how he's dealing with it? Well, that story's just ahead. Somebody's got to stay ahead of the pests and other threats to our sweet Vidalia onions, and that somebody is the UGA Ag Department. They cobbled together a research center over in Lyons, Georgia that's helping keep the onion's enemies in check. Sunflowers aren't really an area of interest for the Vidalia Onion and Vegetable Research Center in Lyons, Georgia, but they do represent work that has to get done in order for other work to progress. Sunflowers are a cover crop that cleanses the soil so that research can be done. Research that can only happen in the field and is only being done in Georgia by the scientists of UGA's Department of Agriculture and Environmental Science.
Who knows until you go out and do the work? Because the chemical company that makes XYZ herbicide, they don't want to spend another $1 million to tell you, can I plant it 3 months later in onions, or 9 months. They just say, well, a lot of them, they'll just say 18 months, so they know it's gone then and no liability, but they don't want to do the work. So we're having to come in and do the work and find out how long do I need to wait behind using XYZ herbicide before I plant ABC crop.
Reed Torrance has spent more than 30 years studying the farms of Georgia, with the last 13 coming on a little plot of land next to the state penitentiary where inmates make up a big part of the farm's labor force. The research facility studies and tries to fix anything and everything that plagues a farmer in the field, and they pride themselves on reacting quickly to the ever-changing problems of a Georgia farm.
Absolutely, and I think that's the beauty of the network we have in place through the extension program, because we are that arm of the university that links the farmer to the researcher. We're out here with these scientists. When we see a problem in the field, a grower calls, we have a problem, we call a scientist, I have a problem. Come help me find out what to do. And immediately we get to work on that.
The past few growing seasons have seen the rise of the kudzu bug. It's a critter that's plagued soybeans and that the researchers have in their sights. Once they understand the insect, they can neutralize it.
Right now, behind me, we're looking at planting of soybean, cowpea, lima beans, snap beans, trying to find out what the kudzu bug likes, which is a new visitor to Georgia, and exactly how we can better deal with that pest. Fruit's still fine, and the vine is still fine. These vines with tomato spotted wilt virus will die out very quickly. This is what a grower can expect right here. Is apparently this year we'd say 50% survival.
Reed points with pride to the progress farmers have made, led by the research that UGA has provided. They use less of everything now than in years past and still improve productivity every year.
We use probably half as much fertilizer, probably less than half as much as far as pesticides or anything. We use less water. We don't have as much invested in this crop. We're a much greener industry than we were 25 years ago. And again, the grower benefits, the consumer benefits, our environment benefits.
In all of the progress, the Vidalia Onion and Vegetable Research Center has had a crucial partner.
I can't say enough about the Vidalia Onion Committee and the growers and their support for this facility.
We know those onion farmers, names like Dasher and Bland and Ray and Stadley. You can count on them to do all they can to keep Vidalias on the top of every burger. And when we come back, if it tastes spectacular, then the beef beneath that onion might well come from Hunter Farms. We're going to head to Bullock County, Brooklyn, in just a minute. Back in the day, you know, most Georgia families, including mine, lived on farms, worked them shoulder to shoulder, and then passed them from father to son. It's a rarity these days, but you can still experience that lifestyle out in the fields of Bullock County. There's a sense at Hunter Cattle that this is the right way to do things, that this is the way cows are supposed to eat and how they're supposed to live.
Cattle in their natural environment with their natural diet, which would consist of grass and what they would naturally eat, that the meat is healthier. We don't have to give them antibiotics or added hormones. It takes us longer to produce, but as far as a finished product that is healthier for the people, it is a lot better.
Unruly pigs have gotten into the wrong field at the Brooklet, Georgia farm and are scurrying back home in time to enjoy some afternoon hog bread, courtesy of the 3 generations of Fergusons out for a summer afternoon hayride. Kristen Fretwell says that the family's farming philosophy reflects the way nature intended the food chain to work.
If you give animals the food that they're designed to digest in the environment that they are supposed to be in, it makes for much healthier meats and much healthier animals, and it ends up being super great for the environment as well.
Hunter Cattle started when Dell and Deborah opted for a healthier lifestyle and moved out to Brooklyn. The business unfolded when their neighbors agreed that they had found a better way.
Because people started realizing the industrial food system's way of growing these meats and their factory farming, and they aren't necessarily treating them as animals.
Go open the gate, little bear.
Now Hunter Cattle has branched out into eggs and chickens and pork.
These are the ones that lay the eggs, and we bring them inside, and we cut their wings because they won't get out.
You probably won't be able to fill up on Sinclair gas, but Muba's General Store will sell organic produce from other local farms.
A lot of people are wanting a product that is grown here, local, that the beef is not shipped somewhere else across, several state lines, but they would like to support and eat beef and pork and poultry from a local producer. So, and that's what we do, and thankfully Georgia Grown is very instrumental in trying to make customers aware that they can eat local like that.
What do you got?
Eggs! You see see the difference?
The newest wrinkle in the Hunter Farms operation is the chance to become a part of it. If you're weary of iPads and traffic jams and spreadsheets, you might just find a good night's sleep to the sound of lowing cattle.
To wake up to roosters crowing, you know, hearing cows in the middle of the night. We invite people from everywhere, whether they be local or in our backyard, from the Savannah area in Georgia or anywhere in the world, that they can come here and they can actually witness, and if they want to, be a part of us raising good meat.
Yeah, from blueberries to bacon, it's just a little taste of what's growing in Georgia. Don't forget to head to the local farmers market this weekend. Fresh, local produce, grown right here by your neighbors. I'll see you there. Have yourself a good night.